Hello and welcome to TFA Analysis. Please subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.
Many of you believe we are in war. We are not in war. We are not in war. I am still waiting to see the kind of devastation that I see in Ukraine, in Victoria. How can we convince anybody there is war when there is no devastation? The structures of Southern Cameroon are still standing there. The governor mansions are still standing there. The DOs, the mayors, the sonoras, in the CDCs, they are still standing there. You saw Syria, the war in Syria. You saw the devastation. No doubt we begin to wonder, why is the international community not coming to us? Why are they not talking to us? They have not seen any devastation to prove there is war. Diplomats are still leaving Yaoundé and going to Bamenda, leaving Yaoundé and going to Boya, holding conferences. And we say there is war? It's a waste of time. Let us put our money together and devastate those towns and cities, and let the world media descend upon Amazonia and tell our story as they do in Syria, as they do in Ukraine, as they did in Iraq, in Afghanistan.
A hearing from Chris Anno. He is calling on all the Amazonia leaders to empower the Amazonia fighters in Southern Cameroon to burn down and destroy houses, property, as it is in Libya, in Syria, in Ukraine. To him, that will attract the international community, and they will have interest and concern for the struggle in Southern Cameroon. Not comparing what is happening to you in Ukraine to what is happening in Southern Cameroon. There are two different things. What happened in Syria is different from what happens is happening in Ukraine. Ukraine is attracting the international community for some reason, in which I'm going to give them here. The first one is the determination of the president. The determination, the love of the president toward the people of Ukraine. It forced many people, even me, to support that country, because the man stood for his country. When he got the opportunity to escape to United States of America with his family, he said all of them will remain in Ukraine. If Russia want to kill them, or he should be killed also. And when you take this one and compare it with what is happening in Southern Cameroon, you look at the leaders of the Amazonia. All of them are in Europe. Some were there before the crisis started. Some escaped immediately after the government threatened to kill or to arrest them. Running away from the battle, but standing in a distance where even spiritual bullets cannot reach, and say you are going to fight. Which love are you going to show? Are you going to demonstrate your determination for people to love you and support you? Ukraine attracted international community because of the love of the attitude of the president of Ukraine. He put on a jacket, went into the battlefield to fight, and this one forced many people to love him and to support Ukraine. Secondly, Ukraine is an independent country, a sovereign country, and then is attacked by another country. That is another reason why it attracts international community. And then all countries are saying that if we allow this thing to happen, other big countries will come and do same to other countries. And then they came in. It is not an internal issue. It's an external attack. Russia invaded Ukraine, a independent country, one which is so powerful coming to, is different from that of Southern Cameroon. It's different from what is happening in Syria. It's different from what is happening in Afghanistan and other places. And that is what even Syria has not attracted, as Chris Anno was saying in the videos there, that Syria attracted international. Syria did not attract any international community. The only people that went to Syria are Russia for their interest, United States of America for their interest. Everybody was not talking about this. Only the killing, the destruction of property was being shown on the social media. But to intervene and give sanction, those things were not happening. But all these things are coming because these are two independent countries. One so powerful coming. The other reason is that Russia has a lot of enemies, like United States of America. And Russia attacking Ukraine. And also in what they saw in 2014, when Russia took part of Ukraine. They know that as Russia is coming to attack now and take another part, that is a strategy for Russia to take over many places from Eastern Europe, in which Europeans now, the international community, because when we talk about the international community, we are referring to European countries, American and United Nations, and this attack is toward them, and that is why they are out doing all this condemnation and sanction. Has any African country sanctioned them? No. When they talk about the international community, it's Europe, and this war is in Europe, and that is why they are coming. So if you do any such nonsense in Africa, it will attract nobody, and then your people will be suffering. Your people will be suffering. I also talk about why is Anglophone crisis not attracting international community. I have to talk about it because I presented a video on it. Another time you look through my videos, you have one there that I presented concerning it. Why is Anglophone crisis not attracting the international community? One is the attitude of the Amazonian leaders. The attitude of the Amazonian leaders. All the international community you are referring to, United Nations, United States of America, European country, and China and other countries, they are on social media 24/7. They are following up the Anglophone crisis and the Anglophone leaders, the leaders of the Amazonia 24/7. All the infighting in between you have proven to them your childish behavior. And there is no way they will put their hands into such childish issue. These are mature countries that have experienced a lot, have seen a lot of issues. And then you are expecting such people to come. If they want to come to intervene in support of the Amazonia, as you are saying, who would they support? Ayabacho? Or who would they support? Sako? Or Eya Mariata? Who are they going to support? Or talk with? It is something that if you people reason it out, you know that there are a lot of things you people are doing that cannot attract even an ignorant or somebody that you are not even expecting. There is nothing. Because there are a lot of questions that people are asking. Were these people truly for the freedom of Southern Cameroon? Because you were for the freedom of Southern Cameroon, unity could have been one of your main priorities. That you will not play with unity. But you people are dancing, separating disunity, causing it all over. And then you are expecting people to develop interest for you? No. I talk about the corrupt nature of the government of Cameroon. Is what is preventing, another issue that is preventing the international community from coming in. Because the government of Cameroon knows what to do in order for Anglophone crisis to boil down, to remain only within Cameroon. There is nothing you can do that will go out. Because Cameroon government is capable of doing something in Yaoundé and presenting it on social media or on media that is happening in Norway and the Southwest region. Whether you say they have to distress Sonara, CDC, and or whatsoever, they will do it. But Cameroon government till date, CDC is not operational that way. But the Cameroon government is still showing on social on any platform that CDC is operational. So there is no way the Cameroon government is corrupt to a point that they are above. Corruption is even surprised of what they are doing, because there are some things that they are doing that even the devil is not aware of it. So there is nothing you can do with the Cameroon government thinking that maybe they will do this. Whether you burn down all Southern Cameroon, nobody will know. Presently now, many people, all this international community, they don't know that there are villages that have been deserted in Cameroon, in Southern Cameroon. That more than 100 villages have been deserted, burned down totally. They don't know because of the oppression of the Cameroon government. Because of press censorship. When they want to talk on CRTV, in which many of this international community will be following, they manipulate everything, and there is nothing that will go out. Think about the kind of government that is over you. Cameroon are not fighting. The highest weapon they are using is not the military. It's corruption. That is the highest weapon they are using. And then why it is not attracting international community is that the Anglophone crisis is considered as an internal affair. It's just like what is happening in Syria, Libya, Afghanistan, and other places. They consider it as internal affair. And when they consider it as an internal affair, all of them coming to Cameroon, they are coming under the leadership of President Bobia. And when they are coming, they are passing through Yaoundé. And when they pass through Yaoundé, Yaoundé give them the agenda and explain everything to them. That is what has been happening. When this Anglophone crisis started, many of this international community you are talking, the United States of American ambassador, talk about it, was so much involved in it. But Yaoundé presented something different to them. The Commonwealth Secretary General came to Yaoundé. He was forced by Nijon Frundi to go to Boya. And when she went to Boya, everything was normal. The Cameroon government went with her and they presented everything to her. Nothing is going on. The kind of government you are dealing with, you have to understand. Don't force your people to go and act the suffering of these people, innocent people. There is no way the Anglophone crisis can attract international community. The only way is what I presented. Knock, hit, give no rest to United Nations Secretary General and Britain. If you people are out there, don't allow them to wait for 1 minute. If you disturb them 365 days, every day, for 1 year, they will listen to you and they will talk about the Anglophone crisis. There is no way. When it's considered an internal affair, they are talking. All international community are talking with the president of that country, which they still consider is President Bobia. And if President Bobia says everything is under normalcy, and they have prevented something like Transparent International, Amnesty International, they don't want them to enter detailing into the Anglophone regions to find out the truth. So what are we going to do with this? And also, I want to talk about, when we talk about the international community, many people ask, what would the international community offer that can end the Anglophone crisis? I believe the only thing they can offer to is just condemnation. What is happening in Ukraine? What are they doing is just condemnation. We condemn what Russia they are doing. But Russia keep on doing what they are doing. And that country is being deserted every day. People killed every day. But what are they saying? We condemn. So if it happens in Southern Cameroon that everything, they are burning Amazonia and are burning down everything to attract international community, United States, the United Nations Secretary General will say, I condemn what is happening in Southern Cameroon. Not action will be taken. The United States of America, I condemn what? European country will say, I condemn. But that atrocity will keep on, because when you will burning, the military will also involve killing our own people. And what the international community will be saying, I condemn, as they are saying in Ukraine. You saw the disappointment in the face of the president of Ukraine, because he was thinking that they will come in militarily to support NATO and United States of America and other European countries. But all they can say is we condemn. We condemn. So it is something you have to look into it, reason it out before you call for such thing. It is so dangerous. There is a kind of system operating in this world that you cannot change it. People support you only in a distance. If they stand and say we condemn what President Bobia, the military, they are doing in Southern Cameroon, and we condemn the burning, we condemn the destruction of houses, what will change? It will keep on going, and they will keep on condemning, and Cameroon government will still achieve its end by killing the people of Southern Cameroon. As what is happening in Ukraine. They have condemned, they have given sanctions, they have done all sorts of things, but the killing continues. That is all the international community can offer. So don't expect anything more than this from them. What can Amazonia or Southern Cameroonian do to attract international community like Britain, and United Nations organization. I say it again. They have to disturb. Because these two group of people, United Nations organization and Britain, are the people who caused the Anglophone crisis. And they have the origin, they have everything with them. And they just need but a little force to release the truth. And if you turn and you are fighting a different person, you can never have the truth from. Because Pobia, the government of Cameroon has nothing to do with what happened in 1961. They never forced the United Nations to get us such terrible question. The Britain did that, forced the United Nations to get us that terrible question. That today our brothers are permanently in Nigeria. Britain are the people behind the Anglophone crisis. And the United Nations, they know the truth. The United Nations inherit the atrocity of the League of Nations and have frustrated the people of Southern Cameroon. And those are the people we have to target by disturbing them. Their embassy everywhere in the world. For 1 year, 365 days, they will open up and speak the truth for the people of Southern Cameroon. Not killing, not destroying our property, not suffering our own people. That attitude, that means can never help and will never help. So, Chris Ano, think of better strategies. I presented a video one time. I say, if you are fighting, it reaches a certain point that your strategy is bringing you a lot of punishment, a lot of suffering. You have to change the strategy. A lot of confusion is happening now because recently this particular Chris Ano came up and said, we want federation. If they give us federation, we will take. Now it's coming that they should burn down all Southern Cameroon because they don't have another strategy again to take. What you have to do is to stop the war, stop the fighting, and think. Unite yourself together and think of a better strategy. Refusing your children from not going to school cannot help. Burning down cities, buildings, CDC, Sonara, what those things belongs to us Southern Cameroonians will not help. It is to stop the violence way. Accept defeat if you can, because the Cameroon government is so stubborn and wicked that they will not stop. But we will not allow them keep on killing our own people. We have to say, let's take another strategy. If not taken for federation, then we think of another strategy. Sit for 2-3 years. You think God will reveal a way out. If you don't want to take the way of talking with the United Nations and Britain, then you sit and think of another way. Because all these things can never help in any way. You talk about fighting for 30 years, 40 years. When you achieve it, what will happen? What happens in South Sudan will still happen to us. They stood out, fought for their independence. And the United Nations say, okay, the international community say, okay, let us give them their independence. Maybe they will prove us wrong by becoming better and living better life. But after giving that, what happens? They became worse than they were with Sudan. And this has given the United Nations and international community a lesson not to support the separation of other countries because South Sudan has disappointed them. And it was because of South Sudan issue that other countries like Syria and Libya and other countries went into. They are fighting for their own freedom. Small group want to fight for their own freedom because they thought that that was a starting point. But the disappointment that the South Sudan brought has destroyed everything. Because the suffering in South Sudan, fighting amongst themselves after gaining their independence. It is a rich part of South Sudan with oil, but there is no way to exploit the oil because